He hails from Lebanon, Missouri, in the south central part of the state. He has spent much of his life in the entertainment field. He has taught and performed at Missouri State University as a member of the dance faculty, and more recently performed with the Camp Followers Band throughout the states of Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, Kansas, Illinois, Iowa, and Minnesota. If you wish, you can find him most Monday nights at the Galloway Station, Springfield, Missouri, and many Fridays as he plays at the Pigpen Barbecue in Lebanon. When you attend an event featuring Mr. McMillen, you may hear Celtic, French, Canadian, Russian, and American music spanning from medieval through modern times.
Boy, that sounds impressive, doesn't it? It's not quite as impressive as it sounds, but anyway. That's me. That's who I am. It's what I do. I do more Celtic than anything else. And I'll start right off with a little instrument that you heard me playing just a few minutes ago. Little tiny thing here. Only has 6 holes in it, so it's not nearly as complicated as, say, a flute or a piccolo, which are its close cousins. It's been around since there's been people around. There are examples of this little instrument in caves all over the world from prehistoric days. It's called, for most of us, a penny whistle. A penny whistle or a tin whistle. This one happens to be made out of wood. A lot of times they were made of bamboo or some such hollow outfit as that. I'm not dressed as an Irishman necessarily today, more as a Scotsman. I'm going to play a few Scots things for you today, depending on how much time we have. So I'm going to start off with the penny whistle. By the way, you can get one over here at Morgan Music or down at Two Guys if you want one, and they cost around $10 today. About the cheapest way you can get into a woodwind instrument that you can possibly find. I'm going to start out with 2 marches that are both Irish. The first one is called the Rakes of Mallow, and it will meld right into another one called the Touchstone. Anybody in here currently taking a French class? French class. Ladies, can you tell me the definition of the word bon in French? B-O-N, bon. Girls, boys, whatever, I can't see from down here. Bon is good. Bon, bon, bon. Glad to see you all are here. Bonjour is good day. That's one of the first things that you learn in French class. Bonjour. And this is bonjour, mes amis. So everybody say bon. Let's try it again. That's pretty weak. Bon. Now it's French spelled B-O-N, but you just say bon, like the N's not there. Bonjour. Bonjour, and the next phrase is mes amis. Like M-E-E-Z-A-M-Y. Mes amis. Mes amis. Bonjour, mes amis. And the tune goes like this. Bonjour, mes amis. Bonjour. Bonjour, mes amis. Bonjour. Bonjour, mes amis. Bonjour, mes amis. Bonjour, mes amis. Bonjour. Bonjour, mes amis. That's all it is. Bonjour, mes amis, over and over again. And what you're doing is saying, hello, my friends. Hello. There you go. There you go. I like audience participation. All the way up to the nosebleed section. So feel free to join in. Although I'm going to be playing to the most people, so you guys are going to see my back a lot. Okay? All right. Let's try it. Bonjour, mes amis. Bonjour. Bonjour, mes amis. Bonjour. Bonjour, mes amis. Bonjour, mes amis. Bonjour, mes amis. Bonjour. Bonjour, mes amis. Again. Bonjour, mes amis. Bonjour. if my voice is not quite woke up yet this morning, the past 2 days I've sung 11 hours, wide open. So it's kind of ragged, and I've got you guys, and then I've got another show to do tonight. So I'm just hoping I survive until then. Now, another little French song, and I'm why Celtic guys starting off with French, that's just the way it worked out, because I want to get that part of it into it. You should, if you have not ever learned this yet, have learned this little song probably in elementary school, but you know, it's been a long time since I've been in elementary school, so I don't know whether they're still teaching it or not. It's called Frère Jacques. Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous. Remember that? Okay? Then if you don't remember it, those of you who remember it, help your neighbor who might not. Go ahead. Don't stand on ceremony. Hop on up there. We'll just go ahead. Get it? Because what we do with that is we turn it into a round. And a round is where one group starts, and then part of the way through another group continues, and the first group continues on, the second group starts, and then it just rolls around and just keep singing it, keep singing it, keep singing it. So if we get a chance, now that you've learned that, then we will do that later on the program also. Let's do it one more time for those people who are just coming in. Now let me see how many of you have heard that before and have learned it down in elementary school or on TV or someplace. A few of you. All right. Well, that'll be just fine. We're going to move to England for a moment from France. And of course, France and England just loved one another for years and years. I am lying to you as deep as I possibly can. They hated one another's guts forever. All right? But one of the neatest songs that I've ever heard goes all the way to the time of Queen Elizabeth. And the English and the Scots and the Irish all play this song. And it's called The Girl I Left Behind Me. Or in Irish, it's The Girl I Left Behind Me. All right? Now, one of the things that you need to know about this song is that if you had enough money, and this went all the way up to the American Civil War, if you had enough money, your family could buy your way out of going to fight. Ain't that neat if you're rich? If poor, not so pretty good. If you're middle class, it would be a real stress on the family budget because it was not cheap. Your family could also buy you a commission. You could go right into the army as a lieutenant or a captain or a major, depending on how much money there was. They didn't wonder anybody ever won a war that way because some of the stupidest people have the most money and they could buy their way in as a general. It boggles my mind. Come on in. Don't block the entryway. We might have a fire here and have to all get out real quick. So hustle on in. Sound like a job. Hustle on in. We'll go ahead and do, every time a ship sails out, every time a unit ships out, a military unit ships out, they're leaving girls behind. And this was the song. All the days of friends are content free, and with the little expense of the nature into the expanding life of the place. So I left in peace and silence, and listened to find me in the sail. I live my life behind me. That's my own dear luck of all my friends are rich and many. For that's a God to do all those my soldiers and that day. If you'll not come back, so I'll get you every day. And my heart too broke when I entered the girl life behind me. As you figure that out, she wants him to come back home because her friends have money to buy him out of the military. If he won't do that, she wants to be able to go with him. all kinds of songs that were written about the girl that went along. You've probably studied Molly Pitcher in the Rev War, who went with her husband, who was an artilleryman, and just provided water for everybody until he got shot. And she grabbed his equipment and she worked the artillery piece for the rest of the guys, all right? Same idea there. But every shell my true love breaks on light of war and toil, and every glass of stone keeps like love and night is oil. For victory or losing, the battle would find me. I'm a battle of an empty, nothing I left behind. That's the good. Thank you. That's the oldest version I found so far. That goes way back to the Gulf Revolutionary War across the sea before there was in America. Okay? It was done in English, so it makes me think it was one of the British Isles that it came from. Did you notice how I got high and squeaked? Because I started that off in the wrong key. I should have started off in D and I started off in G. We do those things sometimes. Let's go again to, well, all the way back to ancient Greece is where this song started from and came from. Procris was a young woman who was a paramour of a god. I mean, she hung around with the gods, and that was never a safe thing to do in ancient Greece, because they were not nice people if you ever read their mythology. Anyway, this god friend of hers gave her a dog that never failed to find its quarry, and a dart that once thrown would never fail to find its mark. Now, as this came on down through century after century after century, by the time it got to England, it was an arrow that never failed to find its mark. And the young lady in the story is in love with this young man, and so she gives him the bow and arrow that never failed to find the mark. Now, what happened to the dog, I don't know. It disappeared from the story somewhere. But he goes out to find food for tomorrow. She has a jealous nature. Amazing if a girl should ever have a jealous nature about a guy that she's going out with, isn't it? Never happened to anybody here at Lebanon, I'm sure. However, she is worried that he is not going out to hunt for an animal, that he is going out to hunt for his other girlfriend. So she wraps her apron around her to disguise herself, and she goes off to find him out by a lake where she knows he's going to be hunting. He sees her in the twilight gloom and thinks she is a swan. Oh, yum, yum. We'll have swan, my love and I, tomorrow for lunch. It never fails to find its mark. And the love affair is over. And that's what the song is all about. It's kind of gloomy, so we put it in a minor key. I shall tell of a hunter whose life was undone by the field and the needle and the sand of the sun. If there's a wonder and it's blue through the dark, and his true love was slain and Jack found his heart. Let me hurry back about her, let me get her voice warm, and you go and the last it was she falling from. And up behind her and he found that it was she. He turned away his head, for he did not wait. He looked at her and found she was dead, and found the nothing. not going to wait for the electricity to go back on. I'm going to go ahead and do a little Russian thing for you. It's loud already. Actually, I probably call Kalika is about snowball tree. Some comes from 1860. And if you want to clap along